Maybe I try to explain it better because I'm nervous it'll be hard or something. I don't know. Okay. Everything's gonna be hard. Everything's gonna be hard. Okay. All right. So, okay, guys. Now we're switching it the other way. Where, okay, guys. They're giving us rectangular coordinates. So this time we're going to be given the x and y. Okay, guys. So if they give us x and y, how would we find r? So if we want to know, we know x and y, and we want to switch it to r comma theta.
We gotta find r.
To find r, you can do Pythagorean.
Yeah, we can do the Pythagorean theorem. Now, again, I'm gonna move over here for a second.
Wow.
So if we're gonna do the Pythagorean theorem, and I want to find r, so I have x and y, and I want to find r, I'm gonna do x squared plus y squared equals r squared.
Yeah, you will.
And then, in order to solve,
Pause.
Just I will. That's a lot.
It sounded like a Joey, we've been watching the series Friends. It sounded totally like Joey.
So is Abby Schauler.
And how you doing?
You're right. Don't do that. Yeah, you will. All right. So, in order to figure out what r is, so to figure out the r, we're basically going to take the square root of x squared plus y squared. So I'm writing it this way so that not every time do you have to set that up and solve for the r. You can just put it into this formula. All right. Now, oh shoot, did they see that over there? Okay. So now if I'm trying to find theta in this case, my angle, and I know x and y, think back to our warm-up. How would we figure out theta if we know x and y? Yeah, it's going to be tangent. So if let's say we know this is 10 and this is 15, and we're looking for theta, we do tangent of theta equals 10 over 15. So then we do the inverse tangent, right? So we're going to do the inverse tangent of y over x. It's always the opposite over the adjacent.
Wait, go.
Okay, we went too fast there. Got so excited about our...
No, you're yeah, I'm sorry.
Now, so we can, if we know x and y, we can use x and y in this formula to switch back over to polar. Now again, if you're ever unsure, you can do this kind of the long way and make sure this makes sense. However, this is kind of a shortcut. Sorry, that should have been a parenthesis that you were going to ask about that. So we're going to be able to do that. But I would suggest drawing a little triangle so you're making sure that this does make some sort of sense in case you're just going too fast or something and make us a mistake. So we'll talk through this. Okay, guys. So they gave us 7 and 10. Now, since they're both positive, these would both be in that first quadrant. So it'd be over 7 and up 10. So this is the situation we're looking at. We're trying to find r and we're trying to find theta. But again, we can use our formula here. Now typically r is going to be a decimal. It's okay. So we're going to do the square root of 7 squared plus 10 squared. And then the theta is going to be the tangent of the 10 over 7, or the inverse tangent of that. It should be a 7 squared plus 10 squared. Sometimes the little 2's get finicky on my board. So 7 squared is 49. 10 squared is 100. So I'm doing the square root of 149, which is again going to be a decimal. 12.2. again, making sure this makes some sort of sense. This is the hypotenuse of our triangle, so it should be longer than the other two sides. And then our angle now, the inverse tangent of 10 over 7, should be a positive angle in that first quadrant, so that should be 55 degrees here.
No, so John. Girly. I like your face. No, it says no make it. I like it. John.
John, you're
John, we don't see
John.
John.
We did good.
Ah, you're a good guy.
Domain error. I heard domain error.
Oh, she was asking me a question.
Don't turn so red for something.
Oh.
Right?
John, let me know.
John.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Sam. Hi, Sam.
All right, guys. So I'm going to warn you guys, this next one is not going to turn out as nice when you try to do this. So we need to take a minute to make sure we make sense of this and make sure this makes, you know, sense. Yeah. So -2, and this should be square root of 2 here. So what quadrant would we be in?
That's a great question.
The one on
Top left.
Top left. So second quadrant. Yeah. So because the x would be -2, this would be square root of 2 because we're going positive. So we're going to figure out the r, again, using our formula here. Now careful, when you square something that's square rooted, it's just going to cancel that square root out. But also when you square a negative, it's going to become positive. Oops. I don't need parentheses there. And it's always y over x, because that's always going to be my opposite over my adjacent.
Which, why is the square root? Don't answer that. That was always bothering.
You good at sir?
No. I just, yeah.
And so again, your answer might come out a little bit strange, so we'll talk about what that means in a second here. So I get the square root of 6, which is like 2 point something. 2.45. Oh, that should be -2. So I got like a -35.3 degrees. But does that make sense for this problem? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Looks good to me.
Yeah, let's just
Okay. So it doesn't make it like so being okay with it doesn't make it okay. So we want the angle to be here. We got a -35.3. Technically, that would be over here.
So what if we take 90 plus 35.3?
Not 90.
180.
180. So we're going to add a little piece to this. Okay? So we're going to add a rule.
I like that.
When x is greater than 0, we're going to do this rule. When x is less than 0, we're going to add 180 like Esther said here.
Who's gonna be the what?
This is.
Sorry, I know that I didn't leave you a ton of space. Sorry.
You just wrote the same thing.
Oh.
Oh, yes, thank you. I
Except
need
the
to
opposite.
add the 180. Sorry, thank you. I did not write the same thing, but I did. So we have to add 180 to it to get us into the right spot. So we basically need to, anytime that x ends up being negative, you're going to end up in the wrong quadrant when you're done, so we have to change that about it. It's kind of just turning like the clock hand.
How does that?
So add 180 to the -35.3.
How does that not screw up other rules?
It's just, It's because it doesn't know which part's supposed to be negative. It doesn't know if it's supposed to be the top or the bottom, so that's why it took us down into this quadrant. It was like confused about what it's supposed to be. So we end up having our angle being like 144.7. And then the square root of 6 is like 2.45.
Oh my gosh. What I got? Really that. I'm a genius.
Are we okay?
Yup. Absolutely fantastic. What are your New Year's resolutions?
Alright, teacher. Come on.
To do yoga every day.
Have you been successful for this?
Actually, I started it before Christmas, or like around Christmas time anyway. In the morning. Yeah, just like not like at a studio, like on the call. Not a video. Yeah. I need my body to be healthy and be able to maintain the running I want to do.
Oh, no.
What? Yeah.
Tonight. This is me talking.
No, that's a good job. You watching your TikToks again?
This is John's TikTok.
I like it, by the way.